Alright, welcome everybody to this lecture on science and religion. So, today we're going to be starting with evolution challenging religion. So, this is a very prominent thing that has come up in recent years with Darwin's theories, and we're going to take a look at that and how it impacts religion. So, the age of the world, as given by the theory of evolution, the world must be very old because evolution is a process ongoing, and it takes a long time for things to change, such as small unicellular organisms, let's say, into complex organisms such as ourselves. So that takes a long time, and it would say that the world is very, very old. And that goes against previous religious estimates that would say Earth is actually much younger than that. Species creation is another thing to keep in mind. In Genesis, the species appear, and evolution shows that species would have come from simple organisms, and through evolution become what we see today. So yeah, Genesis was basically saying, if you read it literally, that species would just come about when God told them to. And we can see that evolution is ongoing, from what Darwin has said. And so in modern day, we see species change evolutionarily, and so this goes against what Genesis would say in a literal manner. Also, a literal reading of the way God created the cosmos in Genesis. He created them from nothing, as in the same case as the animals, and it all appeared. And so that contradicts what Darwin would say, that the Earth developed through processes, and these processes continue today. Boundaries between species was given by Genesis, and in Genesis scriptures it would say all species are distinct, and of course that would mean no interbreeding. We do know today that there is interbreeding occurring, so of course if you do take Genesis in a literal way, then there is conflict here. If evolution is true, and we can still believe in humans having a soul, then the soul would suddenly appear when humans evolved out of Neanderthals. So that's also something to consider. If we believe in evolution, then we would all of a sudden get a soul from coming about from our previous ancestors, which doesn't make much sense. Also, kind of human centrality is a thing. The context of Genesis shows that everything was created for humans, and it goes against evolution because in evolution we are just animals, and therefore we would not be special. Genesis shows that when humans are created, the job is complete, and we will take control as God watches from above. But Darwin would say that the story is not over. Humans will be different 5 million years from now. So basically, evolution is against the fact that humans today are kind of what was meant to become, like what the world was meant for. It's just the way we are today, and that wouldn't be true in the eyes of an evolution believer. Also, one thing to keep in note is an issue of purpose. Darwin would propose that purpose does not exist, but it would be reasonable for individuals to believe that there is purpose for all of this, because, everything's so complex. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin once said that evolution is true, but there is a purpose of evolution, to an omega point, where everything will be how it is supposed to, and destined to be. Another thing to keep in note here is morality. Religion would see morality as God-given, and Darwin sees morality as random mutation that would have given better chance of survival. And this could be perhaps through better fitting, through social constructs and a modernizing human behavior. And through this theory of evolution, it is working in science's favor, but it does not falsify religion. It could simply put God in a more laid-back role, just creating the universe and tweaking it every so often. Now moving on here, to objections to evolution. So, not taking a literalist approach to scripture will allow the theory of evolution and religion to coexist. Fossil records where no links can be found go against Darwinism. Darwin says we are animals, and many cannot take this to be true, so that also goes against evolution. Darwinism, evolution, I'd say are somewhat interchangeable words. Complex behaviors of humans that animals don't have may show we are not animals. Things such as making music and complex speech, things to understand each other. Now moving on here, can these things coexist here, science and religion? So they can coexist if our look at religion is reformed. To do this, a literalist approach to scriptures must be lost. We may have to give up the idea that humans have souls. We may have to give up the idea that humanity is peak of evolution, and Earth will be around much longer. There may be better things to come. Remember that humans have been on Earth for actually no time at all in comparison to the age of the Earth. What can still actually be true, though, is the God can be creator that maybe tweaks everything at certain points, and that everything actually does have purpose. Now moving on here to challenges for evolution. So we can take a more laid-back approach for God, and we can have two views here. So we could look at God creating everything and tweaking things as time progresses, or we can have another view of God creating everything and then like leaving the scene and not making an impact from there. If we go with the first theory, there could be an issue where complexity cannot be produced by evolution, in the words of Behe. So what Behe said is, some things are so complex, consider a flagella, for example, in bacteria, with it's kind of like a tail on unicellular organisms that allow them to propel, and they're very, very complex. And so these flagella have about 50 integrated parts that allow it to work, which is crazy. And without one part, it would not work. And how could an organism continue to evolve towards this point of 50 components when evolution does not know the final outcome? So that is something that can challenge Darwinism, because you'd think that is not possible, having something so complex like that come about from evolution with no end knowledge of what can come about. An argument against this is that there are a lot of things in the universe not well designed, and you can consider the blind spot in the human eye for this argument. So after all, I've just proposed some things for Darwinism and how it could coexist with religion. I have no opinion with this stuff, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and learned some information about this, and have a great day.